Benvenuto alla cucina di Carolina. Today we will be making a recipe out of The Science in the Kitchen and the Art of Eating Well by Pellegrino Artusi. The recipe I have selected for today is from the First Courses chapter, and it's recipe number 70, Tagliatelle Verde, or green tagliatelle. Science in the Kitchen and the Art of Eating Well is not like many other cookbooks. Pellegrino Artusi gives us little snippets to read before you cook the recipe. So, I guess it's time to put on my old reading glasses and see what Pellegrino Artusi has to say. So, from the recipe 69 of the other tagliatelle recipe, he says, I call this dish tagliatelle, little strips, because since it's cooked in water and served dry with the sauce, the pasta dough must be rolled out to a somewhat greater thickness and cut into somewhat broader strips than when making tagliarini, which are tiny strips. The paste is made with the usual flour and egg dough, which should contain no water if you want a pasta that is firm and flavorful. Keep the tagliatelle al dente and salt the water you are cooking them in, very sparingly given that the sauce has, oh, never mind. We're not making one with prosciutto in it though. The tagliatelle I will be making is the green tagliatelle, which is going to have spinach in it, which he says this pasta is lighter and more digestible than noodles made entirely with eggs. So this recipe doesn't have, I don't even need reading glasses. This recipe doesn't have as much of a story as some of his other recipes do, but I think I'm ready to make it. Actually, I'm a little sleepy. I think I'm gonna make some espresso. Alright, back to the tagliatelle. So what you're gonna need is some spinach, farina, l'uovo. So egg, flour, and spinach. So the first step says to give these tagliatelle their characteristic green color, boil some spinach, squeeze well, and then chop fine with a mezzaluna. Alright, so I'm going to fill up a saucepan with water. My arm is shaking. And I'm only going to fill it up a little ways up because you don't want a lot of water in your spinach, even though you do want it boiled, but nobody likes soggy spinach. Over here, there's our espresso, getting ready to go. And I think our espresso is almost ready. Oh my gosh, there she goes. Is that supposed to be happening? Bottoms up. Molto bene. So now that our water is boiling, it's time to add the spinach. First, I know Artusi didn't say to do this, but I'm going to salt the water just for some flavor. Hopefully I don't ruin it. Let's add some spinach. Somebody call Papa, because this spinach is done. Okay, we've got our hot boiled spinach and a colander device. And we're just going to strain the boiled spinach through there. Wow. And you are just going to squeeze the ever-living life out of the spinach to get the water out. So now I have squeezed out the spinach and I'm going to put it on a cutting board. And I do not have a mezzaluna. If you don't know what that is, it's a device that you can hold with 2 hands, and it's got a rounded blade. You can kind of roll it to cut really fast and manipulate it. So we're just going to use a standard knife because I have no class. So I'm just going to cut this up. Sometimes bigger is better. We've moved on to this knife to chop up our spinach. Artusi says, on a pastry board, fold 2 eggs and a handful of the spinach into enough flour to obtain a very firm dough that you must knead well with your hands. All right, so I'm actually going to change the recipe a little bit. I'm going to do 2 cups of flour, and I'm using Caputo flour, and this is the soft wheat flour, tipo 00. I'm gonna measure out 2 cups of this. So I added a little bit more egg and the rest of the spinach, and I think I've got a pretty decent dough here. I'm gonna let this rest for a little bit. I'm gonna wrap it in some plastic wrap, let it rest for a little bit, and then I'm going to roll it out into pasta. Alright, so our dough has had some time to rest. With this recipe, you don't have to let it rest, but I think I put it through a lot of traumatic stress earlier, and the only thing that can heal that is time. So now we have our dough. We're gonna unwrap her, or him, and we're gonna start. I don't even know if that looks right, but we're gonna roll it out, and we're gonna see. Pretty thick, but I've cut it down into a more nice triangle so as to get some more even strips for y'all. So now we have our dough as thinned out as I think it's gonna get, and we are going to fold it into kind of a trifold shape, like a little brochure like that, and now I'm gonna cut it. with some cold water. And I'm just gonna put the pasta in here and boil it. Finish off, I'm gonna just add a little olive oil. That's good. I'm gonna use a clean spoon and I'm gonna mix that in. And I think when I serve this for my friends, I might just give them the option of maybe adding a little Parmesan on top, but I don't think this tagliatelle needs a sauce. So there we go. Thank you for watching Cucina di Carolina, and thank you to Pellegrino Artusi for writing this recipe, even though I don't believe he had cooked it himself, because if he had, he would have known how much physical labor goes into rolling out the dough, and he would have mentioned that in the recipe. But thank you for watching. I hope you try to make this in your own kitchen sometime. Thank you.